Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Math for Grown-ups. Today, I'm going to talk about the different kinds of nothing in mathematics. Now, there's a very common misnomer. Well, not totally wrong. Most people think that nothing means zero in mathematics. If I have nothing, I have zero. If I have no money, I have $0. This is true. However, there are other kinds of nothing. And I believe that this one concept leads to a lot of confusion in mathematics. If we are adding or subtracting, but not doing anything, then nothing is zero. Then nothing is zero. In algebra, we would say a plus 0 equals a for all numbers a. If a is a number and you add 0 to it, you don't change a. You get exactly what it is. This is called the this is why 0 is called the additive identity. When you add it, you get the identity of whatever you added it to. Not terribly exciting, and you don't need this to know this word for any reason at all. But if we are multiplying or dividing, then 0 is not nothing. If we multiply by 0, the number becomes 0. That totally changes it. If we divide by 0, crazy things happen, actually. All the numbers in the entire universe become the same. It becomes a very easy kind of math. There's only one number. Everything's easy. You can add it, subtract it, whatever. Nothing changes. That's not the kind of math that people tend to like. If someone, borrows $100 from you and then doesn't pay you back, you'd like to think that 100 and 0 are different numbers. So anyway, if we're multiplying or dividing, 0 is not the nothing, but 1 is. And we would write in algebra a times 1, a times 1 equals a for all numbers a. 1 is called the multiplicative identity. And just these two things alone explain several things. First of all, a lot of people, when they are learning mathematics for the first time, they learn adding and subtracting. They think, okay, I got a handle on this. The teacher says multiplication, 5 times 3 is 3 added 5 times. A lot of people think, oh, well, the multiplication is really just additional again. I don't need to learn anything new. I already know addition. Multiplication and division, multiplication and addition are very different things. For one thing, their nothings are different, this causes lots of confusion. How so? Here's some things that really bother people. I'll switch to the pen. For example, hopefully you know that exponents mean how many times you multiply things. 3 to the 4th power means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Yay, and that's 9, and that's 9, so this is 9 times 9, 81. 3 to the 1 power, people are like, okay, fine, you got 1 3 multiplied together. Okay, you have 1 3, that's a 3, fine. But 3 to the 0 is no 3's multiplied. And this drives people so nuts because they want to say it's 0. It's not. It's 1. Any number to the 0 power is 1 because it's the nothing of multiplication. What's another place that this happens? Oh, some people have, what is 3 plus 2/5? And people are like, oh, darn it. I know how to add fractions, but the 3 is not a fraction. Well, it is a fraction. 3 is 3 over 1. And now you have to find common denominator and all that stuff. I will get into that later. But there's nothing in the denominator of the 3. But fractions, this little bar means division. Fractions are all about multiplication and division. So the nothing here is 1. Or if you had something like, 2/4, This is 2 over 2 times 2. If you do things this way, I like to do things. You cancel it out. Oh, there's nothing left up top. This is not the same thing as 2. This nothing up top is a 1. Is a 1. When you have nothing multiplied, this I think could help some people explain things. There's a thing called a factorial. You really don't need to know about a factorial. 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and that's 12 times 2. It's 24. And then 1 factorial, fine. It's 1, just number 1. 0 factorial. People are like, you are multiplying no numbers together. It's actually 1. It's the nothing of multiplication and division. These things bother people a whole lot. But I think it's very important to understand that in mathematics, we really like to talk about what, well, we want to talk about what nothing is, doing nothing. We want to talk about how to undo things. And to undo things, inverses, is all about getting back to nothing. When you're, the additive inverse of 8 is the number we add to 8 to get nothing, which in this case would be negative 8. Negative 8 plus 8, they cancel out to 0 because 0 is the nothing of adding. The multiplicative inverse of 8 is the number we multiply to get nothing. But a different kind of nothing, right? The multiplicative number. What do you have to multiply 8 by in order to get 1? And that would be 1/8. 1/8 is the multiplicative inverse, the thing that undoes an 8 multiplying wise. And I think this causes a lot of problems in mathematics where people think multiplying and dividing are the same thing, that nothing is always going to be 0. Nothing is 0 a lot of the time whenever you're adding things up. If you have a store and you have no of one particular kind of inventory, you have 0 of that. But when you are not adding taxes to things or something like that, that's a multiplying thing. You multiply by 1, whereas here in Massachusetts, you multiply by 1.0625 for taxes. I'm getting off topic, but this is just a very useful thing to know, that there are different kinds of nothing in mathematics.